My phone, Ibam.
Action.
Right, you're welcome to our channel. This is Campus Rundown on TVUCC. My name is Louise Bequin. You can call me the PDF. You know, whatever we make here, we make sure that we do update you on things that are happening on the land of the University of Cape Coast. Today, we're looking at the 2022-2023 SRC vetting. Quite an interesting one. And I have the privilege to speak with a member of the panel as at that time, and one of the nominees. As a matter of fact, he couldn't make it. He couldn't pass the vetting. So he will be telling us what he observed, what he went through. He will share the experience with us. And the panel member would also tell us more about what they were actually expecting from the student, especially the nominees, and the standard that they set. And what happened is that we saw quite a number of them not making it. There were some positions that the student couldn't make it to the extent that one person, they had to pass just one person to go unopposed. What happened? These and many more other things that we're going to be talking about. Remember that you can be part of us. Let's make it interactive. Share your thought with us. We are interested in that. Down there at the comment section, and we would highly appreciate it. Now, before we even start the conversation, it could be that you have not subscribed to our channel. This is the time. This is the time. Subscribe to our channel, hit on the notification icon, and do us that favor. Share this for your friends and family to also get to know what we're doing. I am aware somebody is interested in what we're doing. So share this for them to get to know more about what we're doing. Once again, I'm Louise Bequin. You can call me the PDF. You're welcome. So straight into the conversation, right here with me in the studio is Daniel Henaku Ofori. He's an optometry student of University of Cape Coast, level 400, a member of the panel, and he will be telling us more. And former president of VACO Hall, he is Patrick Kusi Adu. Yes, he couldn't make it. He was contesting for the SRC president, but unfortunately he couldn't pass the vetting. It wasn't easy, I know. Gentlemen, you're welcome, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Daniel, I hope you're fine. They call you Stunner, right?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Stunner is actually a name I got from attempting to play basketball.
Huh? You made an attempt?
I made an attempt.
You were deceived by your height?
Kind of.
Well, tell us more about yourself. Your educational background, your political background, your social life, anything at all that you would want to tell us for us to get to know more about you. Let's hear from you.
Well, very well. As you rightly said, my name is Daniel Hinekufori, and affectionately called Stunner. With a educational background, I completed Prempeh Pali, the best SHS there is in Ghana.
The green.
Yeah, the green. Kontomire. The very best there is in Ghana. And then right from there, I came to the University of Cape Coast. In terms of politics, I wouldn't actually say political background, but my leadership roles and what I've played. Well, when I came, I joined Parliament, and then I moved from the ranks through the ranks, from Majority Chief Whip to Majority Leader in the House, and then 2 times Speaker of Parliament for Oguaho. So in terms of the journey, we have had quite a number of them, and then it has been worthwhile. With social life, I'm not a person that has a very in-depth events in my life. It's more like room, class, engagements, and all that. I like enjoying movies, reading books, especially political books. Most of them from South Africa and then Rwanda, and a bit of novels from Nigeria. So that's basically my life. No, yes, I have a partner. Yeah.
You have?
Yes, I do. I do have
a partner.
Oh, yes, I have a partner in Christ, a partner in everything.
You said from your room to class?
Yeah.
Room to class?
Yeah.
You didn't say room to partner,
Oh,
but you
yeah,
have a
room to
partner.
class. Yeah, I do.
All right. Patrick, let's hear from you.
It's a PDF. All right, thank you very much. My name is Patrick Kusi Edu, and you can call me Furthermore for fame. But I had my second cycle education in KUSC Senior High School, and I served as a denominational president and a choir president, of course. I had the opportunity to also serve as a SRC secretary. And so I think that was where my political journey and everything started. And then I applied for University of Cape Coast, and now currently reading BEd Social Sciences in my final year, majoring in economics. In fact, Level 200, it was a history, and I was the only person. Apart from one person, I was the only person who have been able to win the VACO presidency seat in level 200. So it was a history. All right. Although, unfortunately for me, I wanted to.
Level 200?
200, yes.
From your department or?
No. From as in the hall. As in level 200 as a student, I was able to win.
Because I know Erica J.
Race here for VACO hall. Yes, please. So, level 300, I had the opportunity to also join the SRC presidential race, but then things couldn't go the way as planned. But then with all of that, I mean, God has been so good and faithful to us, and we are still moving on. And we still have the strength. Okay.
Great. Let's start from where you ended. You had plans to contest for SRC president, but things didn't go according to plan. What would you say about the vetting, 2022-2023 SRC vetting? What would you say about that?
All right. So I would say it wasn't an easy journey, you know. In fact, the vetting is not actually about what happens on the vetting day. I mean, it starts way from the time you file you take the forms, the time you submit the forms, and the day they call you for the vetting. And so, vetting needs preparation. It doesn't only start on the day that they call you to come for the vetting. But then, what I will also say in addition to that is that it was a serious moment for me, you know. Although it's not all things that I can say over here, but within your head, you know you very well that certain things are not all that right for you. You know, then you're going to sit on the table to see all these panelists interviewing here and there. It wasn't something easy. And of course, TVUCC was also streaming live. So you can imagine the whole student population was watching. It wasn't something easy, Mr. PDF, and I enjoyed it. Okay. Although we couldn't sail through, but with all of that.
But you had gone through vetting before. You contested for VACO president.
Yes, please.
Tell us a bit about that one.
In fact, I will say, not that I'm giving VACO Hall some position, but then VACO Hall vetting panelists are the most, I don't know, they are the most dangerous panelists ever that you ever find on this planet. In fact, VACO Hall vetting is not something small, especially when you meet my hall master, the senior hall tutor, and all of them.
How many members were on the panel?
I think counting over, I think about 9, the students included. So
At VACO?
At VACO. So it wasn't something easy for me. And they also streamed it live. They videoed and captured everything live. So you can see, you can imagine, you being in VACO, it wasn't something easy for all of us. But then, I had a chance to sail through that one, and it was very good for me. In fact, I don't want to say, since UCC and the whole, they don't bring out the percentages as to who won or as to who was the second, who had the second position or that. But then I felt like we did very well. Yes, so it was good for me. Mr. PB.
Would it relate that one to the SRC vetting?
Yes.
Maybe what would you say about the two?
In fact, the clear dichotomy, in fact, the difference between the two of them was that, the UCC SRC vetting isn't actually far different from that of the whole vetting, because it's the same, most of the times, more often than not, you find the same people vetting you at the whole level. But then I would say that with the UCC SRC, I lacked, one way or the other, I will be frank over here, I lacked a certain kind of preparation. There were certain times where there were certain things that I should have done before, I should have considered before, but then I didn't put much attention to that, and it affected me very well, during the vetting day. And all those who were around that time could testify to that there are certain things that were lacking over there. And so I will make it an advice to all those who are contesting this year that if you know that you are running for any position, whether the president, secretary, treasurer, anything that you are running for, you make sure that you prepare adequately before you get to the vetting room. Because the people you are going to meet over, the professors and the doctors, but they have no mercy for the cripple. They have no mercy for the cripple. So you make sure that you prepare adequately, yes, before you find yourself in hot waters. Yeah.
What are some of the challenges that you encountered?
All right, so I wouldn't say it's a challenge because if I say it's a challenge, then it seems like something was stopping me from going for the vet. But then I would say it is, let me say, a mistake, or should I? It's a fault on one side. Yes, it's a team. All right. So the team actually, we did all the calculations and everything before we went to the vetting. In fact, we did every calculations before we even took the forms. And so, with all those processes and everything, in fact, there were certain things, you can compare it to that of football matches here and there. We can do the calculations, the machinations here and there, in the rooms even before we get to the pitch. But, no matter how best you are, it doesn't matter how best you are, you can lose or you can win. And so my situation can be likened, is similar to that of the scenario that I've given over here. It wasn't a challenge for me. We did everything, but then the team made a mistake one way or the other.
Would you want to tell us about this mistake?
No, I wouldn't like to disclose it over here. Probably behind the scenes we can talk about that. But
Right.
then I would say that every candidate, every person who is running for position in UCC, I don't know that of the other institutions, but I would say UCC. If you know you are running for any position, whether the whole JCLC or SRC, prepare before you get to the vet.
What are some of the key things you would want the students to pay attention to?
Thank you very much. UCC SRC vetting, in fact, I think those basic things have already been written down in our student handbook. And so if you're a student over here who is running for a position, you should be able to read all of them before you get you plan to even run for a position. First of all, you have to check your academic performance to see they have a cutoff point, 2.5, and make sure that even if it is 2.5, you don't fall on that line.
That is a
You're not
2.5.
You have to go beyond, probably 2.6 or 7 something. You may be considered, because there's a high tendency that when you are being given the position, you may fall down, or your academic performance will come down. And so you have to also consider that, and make sure that you don't have any criminal record. I think all of them have been stipulated in the student handbook. So, as a candidate or as an aspirant in UCC campus, that's what I would tell you that you should focus on, and make sure that you train yourself, you mock yourself before you get to the vetting room, because it's a do and die affair over there. And if you're able to sail through that, in fact, God helps you, you will win. Yeah. I would say you will win. You should be optimistic about that.
Let me come to you, Stana.
Yeah.
You keep laughing. You vetted him.
Oh, yeah.
How did you see him during the vetting?
Well, I must say Patrick did well, but at a point in time, I realized he has lost himself, because I knew him before the vetting. So at a point in time, when the questions were coming in, he had lost himself. I didn't know why. At a point, I wanted to try and then even bring jokes in my question so that we'll bring him on track, or kind of thing. But I realized he was completely lost. And when you let those things get to you, it's a live streaming, people are there and all that. You will lose yourself, and when you lose yourself, you start saying things you didn't even actually plan on saying. So like ordinarily, on his assessment, if you ask me, I would say he lost himself, one. Then preparation. There was a juxtaposition as to what I should prepare for. Because vetting, as I see it, is not just the knowledge base. It goes about what you actually stand for as an aspirant. So looking at it from that standpoint, I think they did all the books, they read all the materials for the vetting, and this is a general view of all the after that came in. So looking at it from that standpoint, I think, yes, we all focus on the materials that are required, the students hand with the constitution, the financial policy, and all that. But at the end of the day, students tend to lack what governance is about, what they stand for, and what they are coming for. The juxtaposition is if I get the materials, I'll pass vetting. But vetting goes beyond, what is your name? My name is this. Who is that? He is this. Who is the dean of SMS? He is that. It goes beyond the answering of questions to actually your knowledge base about governance in general, and then what you as a person you stand for, your principles of your being. Because, as they say, every man is where he is because of the laws of his being. So on that, I think on this assessment, he lost himself at bet, which he's aware. I haven't told him after.
Do you remember some of the questions that you gave to him?
I don't really remember the question I gave him specifically, but I remember one I asked. That was about social contract. And then social contract is not funny in the books, any of the books. It's just about governance. So you have, if you want to be president, I think then you have to model yourself to suit the position you want to aspire for. And that is not alone hidden in the student handbook, the academic policy. It goes beyond that to what you yourself you will stand for. So yes, that's what I don't actually remember the question asked him specifically. But what I can say is he lost himself during the process.
How did you structure the questions?
With very
as a member of the panel?
Yeah, I was looking at how best you can handle your office when given the power. So my aspect was testing the knowledge base of the aspirant as to when he guessed it, what is he going to do? So in as much as I was handling that aspect, I look forward to quiz you on, one, your principles as a person, because this is a public office. Integrity is at play, right? And then I also look forward to quiz you on the challenges we have and how pragmatic your solutions are going to be. For some of the feasibility studies of it. Because I remember I asked the new deal when she appeared for president, I asked her, what is new about the deal? Because it's just the same presidency we are all aspiring for. So what is new about it? Then she said a few things, and I was like, okay, that's fine. But paramount among what she said was, she's a lady aspiring for president, so that's the new deal. I was like, okay, thanks. To you, that's fine. So I was looking forward to quiz you on what you're going to, because we have, in fact, a myriad of problems at the student front, and then how best your policies or the things you are trying to bring on board, how best are they going to be feasible or pragmatic, or how best are they going to keep the solutions or bring about solutions, when you come to power. So that was the aspect I was actually quizzing on.
But how did you find yourself on the panel?
Well, yes, the panel is a criteria. The dean of students will write to the various halls. Junior members constitute 10 members, and then we have 2 senior members. So the senior men, like those that were there at the time was, I think, Professor and then Prof. Mensah of School of
Professor Rebecca Daimensa
yes,
and Professor Samuel Essien Bedu. Yes.
They were there, and then the junior members. So the dean was going to write to the halls for them to present a candidate to be a panel member. And then, the God being so good, my GCRC presented me. So I found myself on the panel because I was presented by the hall, Uwa Hall, to be precise. So he had the 9 halls, they present 1 candidate each. And then graduates will bring 1 candidate as well, making 10, plus the 2 senior members, making 12. And then we have a secretary from the dean's office, making a 13 panel. But he doesn't ask some of the questions, so it's 12. And everybody is scaling out of what? Scoring out of 100. Afterwards, we strike an average, and then we project your marks. So for you to qualify, you need 50% or more.
What did you do to attract the attention of the Ugwaje CRC to present you on the panel?
At that time, let me say, I was the Speaker of Parliament then, and before that, we were into writing articles and all that. So I think the first article I released was a petition to the Speaker of Parliament, then there's actually Speaker of Parliament, Right Honorable Karim Abdul Yaya, about the hostel fees and all that, how the managers were extorting the students. Because if you ask me to pay 1,000 cedis today, and then tomorrow you ask me to pay 2,000 cedis without anything being done, then it raises concern. Because that's the same facility I was giving 2,000 cedis, and now I'm supposed to pay 2,000 for that same facility. It raises concern. So I petitioned the Speaker, and the Speaker reconvened the House, and then we found the matter with the Vice Chancellor's office. So I think that was the first start. So that was what brought the attention to myself. Then being a Speaker of Parliament too, I think I did quite good in Parliament, because I made sure that all events in Parliament have been carried out, and then as such, they thought about it that, I'm competent in a way, let's put it that way. I'm competent to represent the whole on the panel. So they nominated me, and then I was assented to by all members, and then I was presented to the Dean's office at the rep for Oberhall.
All right. Well, we're having conversation with student of University of Cape Coast. Daniel Ofori is also known as Stana. He was a member of the panel, Veteran panel for 2022-2023 SRC Veteran. And Patrick Kusi Edu, former VACO Hall president, he used furthermore as his teaser. He contested for SRC president, but he couldn't pass the Veteran. Today we're looking at the SRC Veteran 2022-2023 to be precise. We're going to restream it. So right after this conversation, we would be restreaming the Veteran. So stay with us. But quick one before I even take the advice to students who plan to take forms to contest for SRC positions in the university. I'm going to pick your messages here. Emmanuel Adusei, you said Adusei for SRC, for UCC SRC treasurer. Okay. And this one is from Joe Court, TK, Isaac, Philip Chumasi Amponsa, PTA for SRC Hall Rep 1. Joe came in again with PTA, I see you. Philip Chumasi Amponsa, he said, he, Joe. Okay. Philip, all right. Let's make it interactive. You can also write to us. We would be reading them. Great conversation, Edward Blee. Thank you, Edward, for writing to us. Philip is here again, enjoying the conversation. All right, Philip, we're also grateful, but do well to share this for someone who has not heard about what we're doing to also get to know what we're doing. This is Campus Rundown on TVUCC. I'm Louise Bequin. You can call me the PDF. Patrick.
PDF.
Let me call you the furthermore. That is what the ladies call you, right?
Sure.
That's the name they use to call.
The ladies.
But how do you respond? What is your response to that when they call you
for
furthermore?
Respond, let's do more.
Let's do more.
Let's do more.
So after losing the SRC position, do you plan to do more?
Yes. We have planned. In fact, we are doing more. Not that you have even planned. We are doing more. We are expecting a better position.
We'll be talking about that. But before they are about to pick their forms, I understand Monday students who plan to take SRC positions will be taking their forms. What would be your advice to, especially the SRC president, prospective president, on picking their vice presidential candidate? What would be your advice to them?
All right. PDF, thank you very much. In fact, I will say this. It's a whole lot of calculation, as I've already said. If you are running for a position and your vice president is not coming from doesn't have the number, it's going to be at your detriment. You should make sure that you have.
Which number are you talking about? CGPA?
No. The number as in population, the student population.
Supporters, okay.
Yes, the support of the student population. It will be at your own detriment. So for me, instance, we sat down, we made a whole plan that you pick a vice president for KNH, just because I'm coming from VACO. You know that KNH, they have the numbers. So we do all those calculations. Then we combine, yes, we add this hall, we add that hall, we get, yes, a very good supporters to vote for us on the D-Day. But then another advice is also that the president or the prospective president should also make sure that, he picks a running mate who is very, very intelligent.
There may be she.
Okay, fine. He or she.
Be careful.
So, picks a running mate who is very intelligent, very outspoken, vocal, eloquent, because I think they scored that. Right? Yeah, they scored that. So, he should also look at that, or he or she should look at that too, and make sure that students will like what is beautiful. So if your running mate is a female, you make sure that you get a nice lady to,
a nice
to
lady with nice. What are you talking about?
My
Pink
vice
lace.
president was very nice, and I
with nice. Let's spend some time there.
Yes.
With nice, what are you talking about? With heavy
she
back or?
Everything she should have everything. So students, with these students, we like to see what your vice president has. If he's male, he should get the vibes, to vibe with the guys, to vibe with the ladies. But if the running mate is a female, then the running mate should have this kind of beauty outlook. So that when the guy say, oh, that your vice president is very nice. And not just the nice or the beautiful, as such, but then you should also carry the numbers, check the number, the program that she or he reads. Do they have a lot of numbers? You have to do all those calculations. In fact, it's a free advice to all of them. And I'll be frank with that. We know that there are so many department colleges over here that they don't have enough numbers. I should be frank to that. Picking running away from such places is very, very, very dangerous.
Yes. So I don't know whether you've heard this song. Dear Bena Menya. When you research of a day, so if you have all the beauty, all the looks,
sure, they don't have
but the CGPA is as low as 2.4.8.
You should count yourself
2.48.
UCC SRC vetting, they are not going to do any favor. Yes, they are not going to. I don't know this time around. I don't know whether is it.
We will find out from him if they run it.
Fine.
If they run it.
They don't run.
They wouldn't.
They wouldn't.
So 2.49.
2.49. That's what you have.
Or 2.
You don't qualify.
48. You wouldn't.
It depends. I think it depends. Because the school has a policy that CGPAs are around to one decimal place. So it depends on the decision of the panel. Remember, sometime I was told some previous years they did it. They did run. So maybe you have 2.45. They ran to 2.5 for you. So it depends on the panel. Because sometimes the jurisdiction is given to the panel to make their own certain decisions. And since when you're graduating you have 3.49, they run into 3.45, then you are a first class student. That policy is there. So it depends on the panel. What the panel decides to do, that is best. But as he was saying, they don't actually show mercy. The rules are the rules. And for them to bend the rules, that means they have to also commit themselves to, I think, illegalities. So for that CGPA running, it is a decision for the panel to make. They say if you have 2.47, and the panel thinks like, you proved at vetting, you showed your competency, and then as such, they have to run for you.
But I think they wouldn't vet you at all if it is not up to the required CGPA.
During our time, there are people who came in, some of their results were not a year in. Like all the law students that came to the vetting, their results were not a year in. So they presented a transcript of ISIS. So the panel chairman told them, okay, we'll vet them. So they have to provide their results at a specific time. So the precedent was set from, I think, sports people throughout the whole event. The precedent was set that if you have ISIS, they will vet you, all right, but you have to present your results before the panel concludes its duties. So when as such, so they'll vet you. If you to the same problem, when you have ISIS in your portal, don't be actually downhearted because we know people who came with ISIS and their CGPAs were 2.1, and at the end of the day, it turned out well for them because when they presented their results, it was good.
That is a complete result.
They met the criteria or the threshold, so it was good. So if you have the will, I believe that will that counts. If you have the will to make it, just take a step. Because they say the higher the risk, the higher the reward. You get it. So that is that. So for the run of the CGP, it depends solely on the panel. If the panel says that this year we are setting a precedent that if you have 2.45, they can run it based on the university's policy. Then I think it's a good thing for them to decide. And we can't question them because they set their modalities for.
But, Stana, wouldn't that be embarrassment if you file for nomination form, you face the vetting panel, and at that point they tell you that, look, your CGPA is not up to the threshold. We're sorry, you'd have to go back.
Yes. It is, I personally have engagement with students who went and then they were asked to take a leave of the panel or the committee because they don't meet the threshold. It presents a lot of psychological issues and all that, mental health issues and all that. But one thing I know is that it is the step that counts. In as much as we are making it the CGP issue, yes, it's a requirement that you need to meet because it is inscribed in the Constitution. Once it is inscribed in the Constitution, it becomes a legal requirement. And that one, you can't run away from it. It's not an open-end clause. It just must have Article 66, 63, 60, 3 says that you have to have a CGPA of 2.5 at the time of running. So at the time of running. So last year, the lawyers will say that at the time of running, if your CGPA is 2.1 and you have 18 ICs, the lawyers can argue that at the time of running, you don't meet. You get the point?
Yeah.
But the panel was magnanimous in a way that they will tell you that, okay, they will vet you. For the vetting, they will, because it's their duty to do so. But the releasing of the results, the vetting results, you have to produce your document to put yourself on the pedestal that, yes, you met the threshold, and as such, what you did at the vetting can be based on it then. Actually, qualify you or not qualify you for the vetting. So the CGPA should, yes, I think every aspirant must critically have a look at the CGPA issue. And then he was talking about voting and the vice issue. I think I would like to touch on that briefly before we move on. With the vice issue, I think the mistake I have realized from all aspirants that they try to turn their vice aspirants to think to people they are not. Because when they pick them as vice presidential aspirants, they try to groom them, which is good. But in grooming, I think the focus should be that the person should harness her potentials. You don't actually induce your potentials into the person. So I think at the vetting, what I realized was that people were actually behaving the way their presidents want them to behave, or answering questions the way their presidents want them to answer questions. And I remember Professor Dem Mensah was much particular about letting the vice presidential aspirant also answer some questions on their own without interferences. So if you ask me, on the vice selection, yes, there is election. And with election, all factors come to play. Perception control is there. So you have to get someone who actually will captivate the perception of the people and then control it the way you want it. So as he was saying, outlook is fine. That's why I'm saying that secretary position in this university, you don't need policies. You just need political branding, that's all. You have to brand yourself well. Because secretary, in our dialect, well, it's just more of like political branding and then how you carry yourself around. With the vice, I think the looks count, but most importantly is the intelligence. Just as I was saying, we take them and then we try to groom them to become what we want them to be, which is very, very bad because the person comes to the vet and they start asking her questions on their own. She will lose track of what you want her to be and then go to what she is, and then that becomes a problem. So I think when we take the vice aspirants, we should look forward to groom them, harness their potential to be who they are, shove them in their own closet. Don't actually try to change the person. Because I remember during our vetting, Prof. Demerson was particular about the ladies answering questions without the men trying to actually provide them with answers. So that is that. Where the election, the vice election, we based on affiliations, poll affiliations. So we look at the whole, the numbers. You don't go to both sides, the female of the royals for vice presidential aspirant. That's an advice. I'm not saying that they don't suit political portfolios like vice presidents, but I'm saying that they don't have the numbers. In fact, and in this university, you need more than 3,000 to win.
But Stana, don't you think somebody from Adeshe Hall can also portray that leadership character to the extent that the person would attract attention in the university in a way that people wouldn't pay attention to where she's coming from?
Well, that was what I was trying. I'm very cautious with that aspect because people are going to say that I'm saying that those from Adeshe can't be president. That's not what I'm saying. Because I'm saying that if a person can be president from Adeshe, then the person needs to do extra work. The projection must be, in fact, you have to do a lot of things in there because final Senate now we are going to vote in Cambridge, Vaco, and people will try to shoot their people in line when you have candidates. Because the person is coming from Vaco, and fair number when he was contesting. If he had sailed through the vetting, I've been saying this, he would have been the biggest threat because Vaco has the numbers. And there's no way, as a certain president, he's going to sit and then watch the people take away from his work. He's going to do all that there is in his power to show the people in line. So if you are a female from addition, then you have to do extra things. I mean, things that has not been done on the campus before, that's what you have to be doing to attract the attention of the people. But if you sit and be like, call affiliation, you go for a vice at VACO. VACO will vote for you fine, but VACO will give you like 1,800 votes. And at this, I don't know, they will give you 500 votes. It's not enough for you to be president. You get the point? So I think they can be, but there needs to be an extra work. That is, the campaign must wash down to the very core of the people. I don't know if sympathy, money, branding, whatever it is that the facet of election comes with, you have to assume all of them before, in my perspective, a person from addition can garner 3,000 plus votes.
I see. Stana, quick one. Run us through the class or levels of questions that you ask during the vetting.
Yeah, so with the vetting, when a person comes in to be vetted, we first of all check the dress of the person. Because if you are going for president, we believe and hope you position yourself as such. It has to be translated through your apparels. So we look at dressing, then we look at communication, then we look at background. That is for the senior members. That's why they quiz you on your CVs and all that. That's the background. And then after that, the junior members, we have areas. We have office and the office you want to aspire for. Do you know the duties of such office? Or are you just going there because you've heard it's lucrative and then you think you can do without knowing the primary fundamentals of the office? Then we look at, student handbook. How well vested you are in the handbook, because you can't be a student and want to lead a student front without going through the handbook or without actually getting the regulations, student management rules. You have to know that one. Then we get to academic policies. The university is an academic institution. So as such, we expect you, the candidate, to know that the policy that governs the academic environment. So that one too. And then we get to channels and grievances. When something happens, the student, which channels are you going to go through to address such problems? Be it a president, there are channels you have to follow. You can't stand up from your hostel and go to a VC's office. Vice Chancellor, this and this happens, so I want you to do A, B, and C. There are channels and communication channels that you have to go to register your grievances. Then we look at current affairs. Because as a person who wants to be in the helm of affairs of governance, you have to be updated constantly. So we look at current affairs, how vested you are, or how interested you are in things pertaining to student governance. Then we come to how you are going to lead. That was my aspect, how you are going to lead when you have the office. So as a president, I was quizzing on, suppose you are president, how are you going to address the accommodation issues we have on campus? That was the question I would throw to you. And then you have to give me practical reasons how best you think you can address such issues. So we had areas like 10 areas that we're actually looking at. But one thing, as I said earlier on, the aspirants fixate much on is the books. They think vetting is actually come and answer questions, and then when you get them right, you are through to vetting. We also look at your temperament, because there are some time they will ask questions that will provoke you. Not to provoke you per se, but they want to ascertain how you're going to react after you're being provoked. Because I remember Barrister, when he came for the vetting, he mentioned that during his time as a PR, they instituted the community watchdogs at the diaspora. Then I asked him, since you left office, that died out. So how sure must we be that there's something that its perpetuity can be carried out? So at that point, he was boiling a bit, and then he was even telling me I'm not being fair to him. But the question was not to require an answer from him, but the question was to get him to react in a way that we were actually assessing. And then he did. So we're actually assessing his temperament and all that. So some of these things, vetting goes beyond just answering of questions. And as I said, your principles as a person is also what tested for when you appear to be vetted.
All right. We'll be taking a breather for about 2 minutes. When we return, we'll be looking at your response to some of the general questions that you ask. He said that he asked someone, how would you handle student accommodation issue on campus?
Yeah.
What would be your response? Share your thought with us. He would expect you to answer, giving him with some practical approach or procedures to handle the issue. He would respond to that question here. So stay with us. We'll be back shortly.
Aspirant is ready. We can
to tell them about the campus icon and also the general meeting, which was headed last semester as well. It wasn't easy, but most of them were asking questions and their problems were many. So we told them that they can attend this meeting and put this front to the SRC. This is one way of communicating or bringing out their ideas. So with this, I think we had a number of people turning out for this meeting.
So that's what you term motivation. Going around to talk to people, to accept and agree to attend meetings, answering their questions, is what you refer to as motivation. Is that it?
But to me, personally, I believe what I wrote there was the way I understand it, the way I explained it. I'm sorry if...
Oh, you don't need to apologize. I mean, we want to be educated. We want to understand the meaning of the things that you've captured in there. So you don't need to apologize. Now, one of the things that you mentioned in your earlier submission is that as a PRO, you're a very diligent person. Is that correct?
Yes, please.
Who is the Vice Dean of the Office of the Dean of Students?
Vice Dean for the Office of School of Business.
It's Dean of Students.
Dean of Students.
Yes.
Please come again, sorry.
I should come again?
Yes, please.
No, I won't come again.
Like
I'm here already, so how
Dean,
can I come
please,
again?
If I get it
the Vice Dean of the Office of the Dean of Students. You've been working closely with the SRC PRO, right?
Yes, please. I know the Dean to be...
I'm not asking you about the Dean. Don't set your own questions and
please,
give your own answers. I have no idea.
Yes, please.
That's good. I'll come back.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. Moses.
Yes, madam.
You are from School of Business, right?
Yes, please.
Okay. So my question is that School of Business participated in the Tertiary Business Science Challenge.
Yes, please.
On which date was it held? Tertiary Business Challenge.
Yeah, it was held in... Please, is it for only UCC or when it started?
The Tertiary Business Science Challenge itself.
Oh, okay. It started in the month of June.
Come again.
Okay, July 23rd.
No, it was on 28th of August, 2021. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Moses.
Yes, sir.
I believe that since you say you've been working closely with the current PRO, I believe that you've been exposed to a lot of things. Okay. See, in this institution, most times when there is information to be given out from the SRC point of view, you usually see the president giving the information. Do you think it's ethical for there to be a PRO, but yet still the president is the one giving information either to media houses in the university or outside university? What is your thought on that?
Okay, thank you very much for the question. I believe per the constitution, the PR of the PRO supposed to be the spokesperson for the SRC. If we are moving to the constitution, so I believe the PRO is supposed to be the person in charge of that.
Why?
because per the constitution, it's not the SRC president, but it's the PRO.
So you're working closely with the current PRO. Have you ever seen, how many times have you seen him talk for the executive council?
Okay. I have not seen him. No.
So what will you do differently?
Okay. What different I would like to do is to prompt them to the constitution. That if we are working according to the SRC constitution, then the PRO is supposed to be the person.
But you see, Moses, you have said clearly that you have been working closely with the PRO.
Yes, sir.
Since he took office.
Yes, please.
And he's asking you a very simple question. It looks like the PRO is not doing his work. And he's asking your take on that. What have you done about it?
Oh, okay. The question he asked, I think I didn't get it that way.
Okay, so now that you've gotten it, what have you done about it?
Okay. With this, I think we've not done anything yet.
You haven't done anything. So what it means is that when you also come, you continue like that.
No, please.
You allow the SRC president to be doing all the talking.
No, please. That's why I earlier said that when I am given a chance, I would like to prompt them to the constitution. That these are the rules and regulations.
But you have the chance. You've had the chance working closely with the PRO. So
yes,
what it means is that you closely work with the SRC executive. So why haven't you drawn their attention to that provision in the constitution?
Yeah, we are a committee. So we already, we discussed these activities with the PRO for them to also forward it to the general executive body for that decision.
So did you ask this question at the General Assembly meeting?
No, please.
But you were inviting people to attend these meetings. You're asking them to come ask all their questions there. And you don't think this is a major constitutional breach for you to correct?
Okay. I'm sorry that I didn't...
I said stop apologizing, right. Please.
It didn't come to my mind.
It didn't come to your mind?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
But, one last thing. Don't you think it's the PRO that's supposed to manage the way the president speaks? So whether you draw his attention to the constitution or not, don't you think it's the PR that's supposed to manage whether the president will speak to this media house or not?
Please, can you take over the question?
I'm saying that regardless of what you're saying concerning the constitution, drawing the attention to the constitution, don't you think as the constitutional mandate of the SRCPRO is to talk for the executive council, if the president is rather doing the talk, isn't the SRCPRO supposed to manage the way the president speaks and decides whether the president will speak on this issue with this media or not?
I believe the president have the authority to also do something like that. If the PRO is supposed to manage that,
okay, Moses.
Yes, sir.
There has been rumors that executive committee members have been embezzling SRC funds, and you want to clear the air through a press conference. How you go about it?
Okay, thank you very much. If I want to release a press release on this issue, I believe I need to write a letter, or I need to write the press release will be written or be jotted down and printed out, and I need to accompany it with a letter to the Dean of Students for him to go through and ask for permission. So as the Dean of Students goes through and everything is okay for him to release that press, I think he'll give us the go-ahead.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Moses.
Yes, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay. During vacations, according to the statute of the university, what is verbally, I want you to give me the organogram students have to follow in order to get to the house.
Please, can you come again with a question?
I said, according to the statute of the university,
okay,
there is a certain organogram that's
So you welcome back from that breeder. What you watched, Kwame Mosi, it was Kwame Mosi. Kwame Moses, I remember, he was contesting for SRC PRO. SRC PRO, I remember. He also couldn't make it through the vetting. So these, some of the questions are the things that we're going to look at the moment. You're welcome back from that breeder. This is Campus Rundown on TVUCC. We are having conversation on the UCC SRC vetting that is specifically for 2022-2023 academic year. And I have the privilege to speak with one of the panel members here, Daniel Ofori, and then Patrick Kusiedu, former VACO Hall president. He also contested for SRC president last year, but he couldn't qualify. He didn't qualify the vetting. He was disqualified. So you welcome back from that breeder. You can share your thoughts with us at the comment section intermittently. I would be reading them. Daniel, that is Stana. He's also called Stana. And Patrick is also called Furthermore. That was the teaser that he was using. Stana, let's look at some of the response that you give to some of the general questions. Questions like, what would you do to solve accommodation problems on campus, especially to the students who were contesting for the presidential position? I realized that that question was running through. What will be your response to that?
Well, I think for every problem there's a start and then there's a finish.
Go ahead.
So every problem there's a start and then there's the finish. So with that, for me, when I'm being asked such questions, the first thing is, how grave is the problem? Does it affect everyone? Or does it affect a certain group of people? Which I come to know that it affects everyone. So how best can we do it? First, then let's map out the posters, the ones that are covering a lot of people. Let's map them up. Success, city, adoration, those big ones. Let's map them up. After mapping them up, let's sit with them. Because it's a do we are going to strike with them. We are going to strike with them. Because we are the SRC, we provide them with students. So if we can reach a consensus by planning with them, okay, these are the students we are going to give you. You don't need to actually put your parties for sale again. We will bring the students to you. So we go to Gua, we have an SRC app. That app, in the app, the app can be included. I think a dashboard can be created for the hostels that are on the list of the SRC, with facilities, with vacancy, and with the prospect they actually offer. So if you have children room, how big is the size of the room? It is created on the very app. So since it is on the app, then the students can actually apply on that particular app. I think that is the first step. The first step to solving the problem. Because if you're able to get a lot of hostels marked by the SRC, then SRC can use the student's number to actually pay them that you are charging too much for this room. The facilities in there do not match the charges you are charging. So therefore, you have to reduce it, or we will take you out of our list and blacklist you. So that actually must also sound a question to the student that every student who found him or herself on in hostels that are not marked by the SRC, you are on your own. Whatever happens to you, see security-wise, you are on your own. We've also made the hostel people that yes, they're actually going to provide you with what security personnel from the hours of 6 p.m. to 6 in the morning. Now we can have a hand come up deal.
And SRC will be paying the security men?
Yes, because we have to.
The campus security, or?
We can use the campus security. When you're not too much, we can actually get people or recruit people and put them on the payroll of the SRC. Because trust me, this issue has been a canker. It's been over years because people are paying 1,000 this year. They're going to pay 2,000 this year, 3,000 this year with the same facilities. That's a worry because we are here to learn, not to sleep, someone might say. I think it is a step. We have to take it from somewhere and build on the step that we are going to take it. Because this thing is being done in Guinea and then I'm being told they are getting good results. Jumat has also employed it. We are looking forward to how best the universities can also do it. Tech is doing it. So we can also do it. Let's get the hostels mapped. If they are mapped, then we know that these courses are under the jurisdiction of the SRC. If you go to the ones that are not under, you are on your own. And everything that you go through, you are supposed to face it alone. But if you are within the one that we have marked as an SRC, then we can take some leads on your behalf. Go to classes and come here, we can provide them with what the CPT personnel. As I was saying, from the night to the next morning, which we can pay them. Which is, I think you have to take a risk to actually make this thing work. And the risk is what we committing funds into it. That's me. I think that's it, in my opinion.
Stella, apart from the question on hostel or accommodation on campus, what other general question do you think, at least if you are facing the vetting panel, you are likely to face?
Well, the problems of the university, I think, has to be 6 a.m. classes and quizzes, the long quizzes and quizzes that are not written on weekdays, but Saturdays and Sunday quizzes. So these are some of the areas you have to look at. And then the traditional halls, the all-week systems, and then I think we have been told that Tech has abolished GCRC system. So as a student aspirant, you have to also be like following that cases, so that when you come to vetting and we ask you, should you also do say, you are supposed to defend the student, because you are students yourself, you have to defend the student. You have to also be following those cases. Vandalism, ATL task force, the clash, Ogwa ATL, those kind of things. You have to also be following them. How best, because we are in the 21st century, and then the expectation, though tradition is good, I think that we can modify them to suit our current jurisdiction. Or we have a way to make it peaceful without the clash. In fact, rivalry is good. I won't lie to you, it's good. It keeps us on our toes. The rivalry has been there since.
That's a positive one.
Yeah, a positive one. Even if they call it positive, how they call it, positive. So I think there are ways to actually set the rules down, and we shouldn't actually tag them as bad. That's my worry, because what they do, sit them down, have a judgment idea with them. Let them know you are also following what they are doing. And what they do, matters to you, because if Casford should go haywire today, the university is going to pay for it. So I see it best that we sit with them, we have a roundtable discussion on how best we can improve the rivalry. The rivalry must exist for the school to be a school. You can't take it out of the school. So you have to sit with them, have a roundtable discussion. Then the SRC too has a role to play. Because we have these traditional councils at the various halls that are not being recognized. It's a problem. Because if aspirant is going for portfolios, they go to them and they take money. They source the students. But I believe if we sit them down, have a roundtable discussion with them, to make them feel like they are important in the setting. Because we have Christian council, we have the traditional council, and then the Muslim council. In the same way, the respect we give to the Christian council should be the same way we respect the traditional council. Because when we make them feel like they are not important, that's when they do things their own way. But if you sit with them, the traditional halls, the traditional councils of all the various halls, sit with them, then you make them feel they are part of the SRC, because they also have a role to play. Because cultural background will not evade us. It's part of who we are. Me, I'm from Korea. Then I learned the fancy tradition from some of these councils. But I learned tradition from some of these councils. So I think if you sit them down, have a table discussion with them, that they are important and they have a role to play at the student front, it's a very good thing.
All right.
Rather than we actually belittling them, then they feel they are not important, then they do things their own way.
Interesting. We're having a conversation with Daniel Ofori, and he is also called Stana. I'm picking some of your messages. This one is from Oberima Bakin Eben Esquire. What is the role of popularity in UCC SRC elections? Dinah Boche, I'm enjoying the conversation. Dinah, thank you. Asian Mensa, what is the point a person running for a position has ever gotten for the vetting? I don't know, would you want to talk about the score? I think you don't publish it, right?
I don't publish scores, but I think it's an average score.
Okay.
And nobody can get 100%. It's an average score. The criteria is 50 or more. For you to pass vetting, you have to get 50.
But do you look at popularity?
Yes. I think in every social setting, it's important. You have the liberals, the socialists, the conservatives. In order to run for an election, you can never run away from the fact that you will need a bit of populism in order to win your race. Because if you're not popular, if you don't draw the attention of the people, then nobody will actually care about it. And when people don't care about you, they don't care to know what you are bringing to the table. So I think there's a step, but it is not the entirety of you running for election to be popular for nothing. Because if you are popular, then there are things, when you're popular, you draw the people's views to yourself. That, oh, there's this boy called Fedamo. I've heard him from UCC running for the presidency of the university, student of Ghana, the president. I've heard of him. So since I've heard of him, let me search on him. So then you search. Then you realize that, oh, he is winning A, B, and C. So at the point, the popularity has helped get one follower to your side. So populism is something we can't shy away from because it is election. It is something that is of the masses, not just a certain group of people. It's of the masses, and think that of the masses, you need that popularity. That's why we take key interest in what? Publicity. We do the publicity to get people's what? Attention. So in a way, the publicity is also what? You are being populist at the point. So in every election, popularity counts. You can't take that out of context.
All right. Stana, I realized that almost all the aspirants or the nominees who came were asked to tell the panel about themselves. What were you actually expecting? Because there were some of them that they will talk and later you would ask them, is that all that you can say about yourself? What are the key things that you expect when you ask someone to tell us about yourself?
Very well. That particular question, I for once was bemused about the answers they were given. We know your name already. You are Patrick. We know your name. We know you are Fedamo. We know you are running for SRC president. That is an established fact. We know it. So when you are being asked, oh, talk to the people. It takes 1 minute to talk to the people. I think the chairperson was doing that often. The idea behind that question is for you to sell yourself, one, two, to captivate the minds of people on what you're bringing on board. That's the central idea. If you're asked to tell the people, you don't go about, my name is Stana, and I'm running for as president, I'm affiliate of Oguaho. That's an established fact. The most important thing is what I bring to the table. So in that area, my advice to all those that are aspiring that you pick a general concern or general problem, and then you address it in your way, or you provide solutions. You provide solutions that you think can best address that problem. That you are doing something the project called, you are actually marketing yourself. And as a marketer, you look at the resources available, deficit, how you can add to the resources. So with that question, the central idea is tell the people what you're bringing on board. So it's more like an ability to campaign. So it's not that you are coming to tell us your name, what you are doing. They should vote for. Yes, we are going to vote. But people need reasons why they should vote. That's why we say that voting is of a social contract. That is being signed. We agree that I'm giving you some of my power because you are going to do A, B, and C. And if you are not able to do that, then I can question because I have given some of my power to you. So a social contract that we all say this election is, you are there to campaign to the people, and the policy is what drives your campaign. Your policy drives your campaign. That is in fact the first thing. Aside your branding, aside your communication and all that, your policies drive your campaign. So on that panel, what we were actually looking at was what I bring it on board. And so you have to get to better answer that question. You have to assume a problem that is a student front and how best, in your opinion, can be addressed. That's the fantastic way of doing that.
Back to what I asked.
Yeah.
There were times that the panel would say that, is that all that you can tell us about yourself? So basically you want to say that the introduction level, when you come in first, the introduction level, you expect the student to, after establishing the fact that you are affiliated to this hall, this is your name, and that of you, your mission, you go ahead to tell the panel? What do you aim to do when you are given the opportunity to lead the student front?
Oh, okay, I now better get the question. What I was saying that after the vetting, when the chairman asks you, tell the people something, that is when you market yourself. But when you enter the vetting room and then they ask, tell us about yourself. Yourself is your CV, because they have your CV already. And your CV is you. So they want to actually find out if you wrote your CV yourself, one. They also to find out if what you're going to say is a true representation of yourself on what we have there, your CV. So tell us about yourself. You go, your name is very important. Your mission at the panel, at the vetting room is also important. Why are we here? It's very important. And also tell a few things, a few milestones of the journey. How you've gotten yourself here. That's not to say that you took a taxi for no. Your academic, your political life. What you've done, what problem you have helped solved, what key role you played in some committee or some engagement or some sort of a thing. Those are things you told the panel, and then it sets everyone their attention to yourself, because when you told them about what you have done, some time passed. So, for example, my name is Daniel Ofori, and then I'm here today to be vetted. An affiliate of Oguaho, as I've been saying, we have helped the student front curb a lot of problems. In the year 2022, we helped address the issue of hostels. In the year 2021, we fought tariff increment. When you say such things like that, it draws the attention of the people, because the vetting those at the vetting will be like, then this guy has something to offer. Then the panel is going to be like, they are going to have your rapt attention. So it's actually, you are going to set the modality of the game when you do that. Because you're going to tell them the line of questions they should ask you. You restrict them to some part, which you are the master of the game then. But when you come in and you come with an open-end statement, you give the panel the chances or the opportunity to actually query from all angles. So that is what we were expecting.
But can a nominee control the panel in a way?
Yes.
How?
On your answers. I remember the fantastic one we had was when we vetted the Penable. He was given a close-end statement. Statement that will not make you try to further question him on what he said. Because most of the time, the panel members, we use your own statement to bait you up. That's what we do. Not even here alone. For some panels I've sat on, both in school and home, and everywhere, even the national level. When you are watching the MPs vetting, they bait them by what they say. So if you go to vetting and you give an open-end statement, you invite a lot of questions. But when you give a close-end statement, from your CV, we saw this mistake. Yes, please, there was. Then I realized it when I was watching the vetting, how you create some general secretary. That means you have admitted, then you have owned up to it. But when you come and say that, it is right in your opinion, that is when Prof. Demensa will tell you that he has been in the system for more than 10 years, and then he has been an HR more than 10 years. He can even tell from the font style you are writing, the font size you use, aerial view, stencil, and all that. So I think the best thing to do is to control the panel. You give a close-end statement. You don't give an open-end statement.
Are you going to join the panel this time too?
I wish I could, but no, I can't.
Why?
Because I'm putting myself up to be vetted by the panel. So I can't put myself up to be vetted by the panel and then also be on the panel.
You mean this time you're a nominee?
Yeah.
Which position would you want to talk about?
SRC president.
SRC president.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll make time with you where you tell us about what we should expect from you.
Yeah, sure.
Students should know that he's contesting for SRC president. We'll look up to that. Let me switch to furthermore, and then we'll find out from furthermore to what his advice to the student will be, especially if you are going to face the panel members. How do you prepare yourself? How do you prepare in such a way that you wouldn't be tensed? Because there were people I saw that they were panicking to the extent that they were being asked, should they give you some 10 minutes to relax? So how should we prepare before we face the panel members? Furthermore, what is your take on that?
All right, thank you very much, PDF. I think right from my own experience, what my advice I would give out there is that if you are a nominee or an aspirant and you are going to be vetted, the first thing is that you get your documents and everything right. If you have everything well prepared, you know that you don't have anything going on in your mind bothering you that would even worry you when you are facing the panel. And so you have to get everything prepared and make sure that you get there on time so that if there's any sort of tension, you can at least release yourself with that and have a free time. You talk and finally you meet the panel. And also, I would say that mock yourself before, prepare, learn how to answer your questions. There are some basic questions that you should be able to answer. And just as Stana rightly said that questions like, what can you tell us about yourself? They are not expecting you to mention your names and mention the portfolio that you are running for, but rather they are seeking, or they are making sure that at least you introduce yourself, sell yourself out there, market yourself so that the student population know who they are actually rooting for or they are supporting. And so that's my advice. Then I'll give it to all the aspirants or the nominees. Make sure that you prepare yourself adequately before you get there, and everything is in touch. Yes.
And that is a strategy to control tension.
Yes, please. That's all.
What did you say is your response when they call you furthermore?
Let's do more.
Let's do more.
Let's do more.
So,
in fact, actually, the furthermore has a long history, and it has a funny beginning anyway. But then, as time went by, I found it to be a very positive vibe for me and my friends. When you say furthermore, let's do more. No matter the situation, you still keep moving.
Keep moving.
Yes.
So after the vetting, though you couldn't pass, you're still moving?
Yes, I don't know whether that mantra is having an effect on me, a positive effect on me, because I know certain people who have been vetted out who couldn't say through vetting, and now they seem to have been alone. They are jaded. They are now with even their visions and all that. But I always feel like, there's something up there that you should still strive for.
So how does it feel to fail a vetting?
I know every man can fail in life. It's not, when you fail, that doesn't mean that you are not a human being anymore. It's a time for you to sit back, assess yourself, know your weakness and strength. Then you gather all those the strength, all the strategies so that at least you can build yourself up. You come out stronger. And as you know, PDF, I'm coming out stronger. And all other institutions in Ghana, they are waiting to see somebody.
SRC president again?
No. This one is
MP.
University Student Association of Ghana president.
UCC?
Yes, UCC.
You mean you're contesting for UCC president?
Yes, please. Representing the various institutions at the national level, interceding and making sure that we serve as a liaison between them very well, advocating for the students' rights, forming a formidable student front for them. So that's what we are here to do. And we know that God will establish his purpose.
Great. God will definitely establish that purpose. We'll make time for that. Next time when we sit here, we'll be looking at that. My name is Louise Bekwene. You can call me the PDF. This is where we'll draw the curtain on today's edition of Campus Rundown here on TVUCC. If you have not subscribed to our channel, please subscribe to our channel. Click on the notification icon so that you get alert whenever we put a video here on this channel. And of course, if there's something that you want to write to us at the comment section below. We would highly appreciate it. Today, we had a conversation on the UCC vetting, that is 2022-2023 vetting, to be precise, SRC vetting. I must inform you of that. And of course, you heard from Daniel Ofori, Daniel Henaku Ofori, and Patrick Adu-Kusi, former VACO Hall president of University of Cape Coast. Until we meet again, it is bye for now. But I expect the restreaming of the vetting on Monday. This Monday, we will be restreaming the UCC General SRC vetting. Stay with us and enjoy the rest of our programs. I'm out.